At Fox News, even the smallest mistake could mean a one-way ticket out the door. No warnings, no second chances. But scandals? Well, that's a whole different level of "you're fired." This is the tale of the high flyers who plummeted from grace straight into the abyss of disgrace, all thanks to their jaw-dropping actions. Ever wonder who these once prominent figures were? What exactly did they do to warrant such swift dismissal? Hold tight, because we're about to dive into some truly shocking stories. Buckle up as we reveal the stunning controversies that led to these individuals being kicked out of the Fox News spotlight. Faster than you can say, breaking news. When Fox News Media CEO Suzanne Scott called Tucker Carlson and dropped the bombshell, "We're taking you off the air," she didn't even offer him a reason. For Carlson, this was unthinkable. After all, he wasn't just a host. He was the top-rated host on cable news, the face of primetime Fox. It made zero sense. What made things even more surreal was that Carlson wasn't given a chance to sign off with dignity, to make it look like the exit was his choice. Nope, no carefully crafted "thank you and goodbye" monologue. Scott did, however, offer him one small thing: the opportunity to include a personal statement in the press release. Carlson thought about it for a moment. Maybe it would be easier if it looked mutual? Maybe he wanted the world to think it was an amicable parting of ways. But no, he decided against it. He wasn't about to play along. He was being fired, and he wanted everyone to know it. Before his email account was deactivated, he sent out a farewell message to his loyal team, affectionately known as the Tucker Troop. And then, like a flash of breaking news, the announcement hit the public. Fox News Media and Tucker Carlson have agreed to part ways. The word "agreed" was doing some serious heavy lifting in that sentence, and Carlson's absence from the statement was glaring. The shockwave hit not only his production team, who had no idea this was coming, but the whole cable news world. Senior executive producer Justin Wells was also shown the door, while the rest of the staff was left to pick up the pieces. It was one of the most stunning shakeups in Fox's history, and the ripple effect reached beyond the network. Carlson had been a colossal figure, with a sway over the GOP base that some said rivaled even Donald Trump. His departure was a seismic event for both Fox News and the Republican Party. But behind the scenes, the cracks had been forming for a while. Carlson had alienated plenty of people, stirred up controversy after controversy, and generated so much internal friction that his firing was seen as inevitable by some. This wasn't his first time getting booted, either. He'd been fired from CNN and MSNBC earlier in his career. At Fox, he'd built an aura of invincibility, projecting a confidence that seemed unshakable. Yet, even with all his bravado, his past experiences had taught him that nothing in this business was guaranteed. So why was he really fired? Theories abound. Some point to his behavior toward female executives, with over a dozen current and former Fox staffers hinting at a deep-seated misogyny that mirrored the tone of his show. Others speculated that Carlson's difficult relationship with his mother, who abandoned him at age 6, might have contributed to his problematic views on women. He believed it was all tied to the Dominion voting system settlement. In his words, "They agreed to remove me and my show from the air as part of the Dominion settlement," a claim he repeated to sympathetic biographer Chadwick Moore. Even 6 months after his sudden exit, questions still swirl. Was it a legal fallout, internal politics, or just the natural consequence of a man who'd pushed too many boundaries for too long? Whatever the truth, the story of Tucker Carlson's fall from the Fox throne remains one of the most dramatic moments in cable news history. Eric Balling's dramatic fall from grace in 2017 came during a wave of harassment scandals that rocked Fox News to its core. Having joined the Fox Business Network in 2007 as a financial expert with staunch conservative views, Balling quickly rose through the ranks. He became a familiar face on Fox News, co-hosting the wildly popular panel Show the Five before finally landing his own program, The Specialists, in May 2017. It seemed like his career was on a meteoric rise. But just 3 months later, it all came crashing down. HuffPost reported that Balling had allegedly sent unsolicited explicit photos to at least 3 female colleagues. The allegations couldn't have come at a worse time for Fox, which was still reeling from the Roger Ailes and Bill O'Reilly harassment scandals. Fox News swiftly suspended Bolling, launching an internal investigation into the claims. Bolling, however, vehemently denied the accusations, even going so far as to sue the reporter behind the story for defamation, seeking a staggering $50 million in damages. Despite Bolling's adamant defense, Fox News announced in September 2017 that they had parted ways with him, corporate speak for "you're fired." The speed with which Fox distanced itself from Bolling signaled just how sensitive the network had become to harassment issues in the wake of its recent controversies. But, of course, Bolling wasn't the last to go. In fact, his departure was just another chapter in Fox's growing list of high-profile exits. Who's next, you ask? Well, stick around because this story is far from over. Geraldo Rivera is another big name who found himself out of Fox News, and this one stings for a different reason. Rivera's departure in 2023 ended a 22-year career at the network, underscoring just how hard it can be to maintain a moderate voice in today's hyper-polarized media landscape. Rivera was no rookie when he joined Fox in 2001. He was a seasoned journalist with stints at ABC News and his own talk show. At Fox, he wore many hats: war correspondent, weekend anchor, and most recently, a panelist on The Five. But Rivera's moderate stance, especially on issues like immigration and the Trump administration, often put him at odds with his more conservative co-hosts. His willingness to challenge right-wing talking points made him a unique, if controversial, voice at Fox. Yet that same outspokenness increasingly clashed with the network's hard-right direction. In June 2023, Rivera made a surprising announcement via a social media video. "I was fired from The Five, and as a result, I quit Fox." His exit highlighted the growing tension between Rivera's more centrist views and Fox's increasingly conservative tone. It was a clear sign that dissenting voices were becoming harder to maintain in a media space that was doubling down on ideological purity. Shocking, right? The question now isn't just who's next to leave, but what Fox News is becoming as it tightens the reins on its narrative. Keep watching to find out who else found themselves on the wrong side of Fox's door, and why. The downfall of Roger Ailes, the founding CEO of Fox News, sent shockwaves through the media world and marked a turning point for the network. Ailes was a former Republican media strategist who, with the backing of Rupert Murdoch, launched Fox News in 1996. Under his leadership, the network became a juggernaut in conservative media, dominating cable news ratings and wielding considerable influence over Republican politics. Ailes was the mastermind behind the rise of prominent figures like Bill O'Reilly and Sean Hannity, turning them into conservative powerhouses. His aggressive management style and sharp political instincts were legendary. But in July 2016, Ailes' reign came to a shocking and scandalous end when former Fox News anchor Gretchen Carlson filed a harassment lawsuit against him. Her allegations were a bombshell, but they didn't stop there. Carlson's lawsuit opened the floodgates. Soon after, more women, many of them high-profile Fox personalities, including Megyn Kelly, came forward with similar claims, painting a picture of a toxic work environment under Ailes' rule. Though Ailes initially had the support of the Murdoch family, the scandal was too big to contain. Just 2 weeks after Carlson's lawsuit, he was forced to resign. Despite leaving with a hefty $40 million severance package, his legacy was forever tarnished. His departure also unmasked a deeply entrenched culture of sexism and harassment at Fox News, leading to a domino effect of legal settlements and high-profile exits. Ailes passed away less than a year later in May 2017, leaving behind a legacy of innovation in media, but also as a cautionary tale of workplace misconduct at the highest levels. Andrea Tantaros was another casualty in Fox News' ever-growing list of scandals. Her acrimonious exit in April 2016 came amidst the network's struggles with harassment allegations. Tantaros, a former co-host of Outnumbered and The Five, claimed she was sidelined in retaliation for reporting harassment by Roger Ailes and other senior executives. In August 2016, she took her fight public, filing a lawsuit against Fox News, Ailes, and several top executives. Her lawsuit described the network as a sex-fueled, Playboy Mansion-like cult, a sensational accusation that grabbed headlines. Fox News, however, hit back, stating that Tantaros had been suspended for violating company policy by failing to allow the network to review her book before it was published. What followed was a bitter legal battle, with the network accusing Tantaros of fabricating her claims. Tantaros' case, along with Gretchen Carlson's and others, amplified the scrutiny on Fox News' workplace culture and highlighted the company's problematic treatment of women. The fall of Roger Ailes and the rise of lawsuits like Tantaros lifted the veil on a culture of misconduct that had long been hidden from public view. It wasn't just about individual bad actors. It revealed a systemic issue that had far-reaching consequences for the network. But the story doesn't end here. Who else at Fox News faced the same fate? Stick around as we uncover more high-profile figures who were shown the door amidst controversy. Bill O'Reilly's fall from grace in 2017 was one of the most dramatic and public exits in television history. The longtime host of The O'Reilly Factor, which had catapulted Fox News to the top of cable ratings, found himself ousted amid a growing storm of sexual harassment allegations. His departure wasn't just a result of internal network concerns. It was driven by fierce public backlash, including an advertising boycott that involved over 80 companies pulling their ads from his show. This was a clear signal that O'Reilly's once unshakable position at Fox was no longer tenable. At the time of his firing, O'Reilly was on vacation in Italy, unaware that his future at the network was hanging by a thread. Fox executives had been considering his fate for weeks, as details of his alleged inappropriate behavior began to emerge. The controversy surrounding O'Reilly's conduct was the latest blow to Fox News, following the exits of major figures like Megyn Kelly and the resignation of founding CEO Roger Ailes the previous year. All of these scandals seemed to point to a troubling, pervasive culture of misogyny at the network. Several factors contributed to O'Reilly's downfall. Public sentiment had turned decisively against him, and Fox's leadership, particularly the Murdoch family, was growing increasingly concerned about the network's reputation. The fallout from the harassment claims was proving to be more damaging than anticipated. While O'Reilly's loyal viewers may not have been swayed by the accusations, the pressure from advertisers, who feared alienating the broader American public, became too much to ignore. The successful boycott showed just how much power corporate America holds in shaping public discourse. O'Reilly's harassment history was far from new. It was only when the New York Times reported that Fox had paid out over $13 million in settlements to 5 women between 2002 and 2016 that the full scale of his misconduct became public knowledge. Former Fox star Megyn Kelly admitted that O'Reilly's behavior toward women played a key role in her decision to leave for NBC. One particularly infamous incident involved O'Reilly allegedly telling producer Andrea Macri to buy a vibrator and describing a disturbing fantasy involving her, a shower, and a loofah. Macri also accused O'Reilly of threatening her, saying he would destroy her career if she ever went public with the allegations. The lawsuit was settled in 2004 for $9 million, but it wasn't the only one. The New York Times report revealed that this was just the tip of the iceberg. Even as the harassment allegations mounted, The O'Reilly Factor remained Fox News' most-watched show. But despite the show's popularity, O'Reilly couldn't escape the mounting pressure. Just days after the Times exposé, O'Reilly went on a previously scheduled vacation. His absence from the airwaves didn't stop the backlash. On April 19, 2017, Fox News announced that it had parted ways with O'Reilly, marking the end of an era for the network. O'Reilly's firing wasn't just about one man's fall. It symbolized a wider reckoning for Fox News, which was being forced to confront its toxic work culture. O'Reilly may have been a conservative television icon, but his misdeeds and the network's response to them ignited a firestorm that would burn through the heart of Fox News. And just when it seemed like the dust had settled, another controversy followed. Who's next to face the axe? Keep watching as we reveal the stories of more big-name exits and the controversies that sealed their fates. Glenn Beck's tenure at Fox News, though relatively brief, was both explosive and transformative. Beck joined the network in 2009 after a stint at CNN Headline News, bringing with him a loyal fanbase and a penchant for stirring up controversy. His show quickly became a ratings juggernaut, drawing in over 2 million viewers each night. His emotional, often tearful rants and his iconic use of props, most notably his famous chalkboard, became signature elements of his program, making him a must-watch for conservative audiences. However, Beck's rise to fame was not without its share of problems. His increasingly eccentric and inflammatory commentary began to alienate not only viewers but also advertisers. One of his most controversial moments came when he infamously labeled President Obama a racist with a deep-seated hatred for white people. This sparked outrage across the political spectrum and led to a massive advertiser boycott, with dozens of companies pulling their ads from his show. But this was just the tip of the iceberg. Beck's chalkboard segments, in which he connected seemingly unrelated events and individuals through a maze of conspiracy theories, became a staple of his broadcasts. He often delved into topics that many found implausible or offensive, tying together far-flung ideas in ways that seemed more paranoid than plausible. The more Beck's rhetoric escalated, the more Fox News executives grew concerned about the long-term damage to the network's reputation. While Fox News thrived on provocative commentary, Beck's extreme views seemed to be pushing the envelope too far. In April 2011, after months of growing tension, Fox News announced that Beck would be transitioning off his daily show. Though the departure was framed as a mutual decision, behind the scenes, reports indicated that the network had become disillusioned with Beck's polarizing statements and the accompanying fallout from advertiser boycotts. His exit underscored the delicate balance Fox News had to strike between fostering provocative voices and maintaining mainstream credibility. Beck's departure also marked a shift in Fox's strategy, as they sought to find a new balance between entertainment and news, while still appealing to their loyal conservative audience. Though he left the airwaves, Beck's influence on conservative media and his eventual move to other platforms only cemented his place as one of the most controversial figures in the history of Fox News.